Listen to me. If you are retired, or you are staring retirement right in the face, every single dollar you have is no longer just money. It is your security. It is your peace of mind. It is your freedom. So when you are moving that money around, whether you are sending money to your kids, paying for a big travel adventure, or moving funds between your accounts to manage your cash flow, and that money vanishes from your account but hasn't shown up on the other side yet, what happens? Panic sets in. You start to fear the worst. You ask yourself, did I send it to the wrong account? Did it get lost in cyberspace? Has someone stolen my hard-earned nest egg? I want you to take a deep breath. Stop worrying, and let's get smart. Today, we are answering the exact question that is keeping you up at night. How long will the Westpac transfer take? Because you need to know where your money is, exactly when it is going to land, and how to control the clock so you are never left in limbo. Let's break it down into exactly what happens, depending on where that money is traveling. First, let's look at the absolute best-case scenario. You are moving money online between your very own Westpac accounts, or you are sending money to someone else who also banks with Westpac. If you do this before 10 p.m., that money moves instantly. It is there before you can even blink. Even on a weekend or a public holiday, Westpac to Westpac is immediate. So if you are standing in the supermarket line and you need to shift money from your savings to your checking account to pay for groceries, do not panic. It is instant. But what if you are sending money from Westpac to a completely different bank within Australia? This is where the clock starts to matter, and this is where people start to get tripped up. Most domestic transfers today happen through a system called OSCO, or real-time payments. If you are using the Westpac app or online banking, and the person you are paying has a bank that accepts OSCO, which most major banks do, that transfer is also going to be near instant. It takes less than 60 seconds, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But here is the catch, and this is the big question you must ask. Is it a standard pay anyone transfer, or did you miss the daily cutoff time? If it is a standard transfer to another bank and it doesn't go through OSCO, Westpac has a strict line in the sand, and that line is 6 p.m. Sydney time. Write that down. 6 p.m. If you hit send before 6 p.m. on a business day, the money will arrive at the other bank on that very same day. But if you hit that button at 6:01 p.m., or if you send it on a Saturday, a Sunday, or a public holiday, it is not moving until the next business day. That means if you make a standard transfer at 6:30 p.m. on a Friday night, that money is going to sit in a banking vault all through Friday night, all through Saturday, all through Sunday, and it won't land until Monday morning. That is 3 days where your money is floating in midair, causing you unnecessary anxiety. Why do that to yourself? Now, let's talk about the big one. The one that causes the most fear, the most sleepless nights, and the most phone calls to the bank: international money transfers. Maybe you are sending money to a loved one overseas, or maybe you are transferring your own funds across borders. When you send money internationally through Westpac, the general rule of thumb is that it takes 1 to 3 business days. But hear me loud and clear, 1 to 3 business days is a guideline, not a guarantee. Why does it take so long? Because your money isn't just flying across the ocean on a straight path. It has to go through a global security system. It has to pass through intermediary banks, also known as correspondent banks, which act like layover airports for your cash. Each bank checks the transfer for security, compliance, and regulations. And here is the hidden trap that almost nobody tells you about: international cutoff times. If you are sending money overseas, Westpac requires you to get that transfer in by 12 o'clock noon on a business day for it to start processing that day. If you are sending Japanese yen or New Zealand dollars, you have to be even faster. The cutoff is 10 a.m. If you miss those morning deadlines, or if you transfer on a weekend, add an extra full day to your waiting time. The fear comes when day 2 passes, day 3 passes, and your recipient says, "Susie, I still don't see the money." You start to sweat. But you don't need to fear, because you have the power to track it. Westpac has an international payment tracking tool right inside the online banking portal and the Westpac app. The minute the status changes to sent, you can see exactly which intermediary bank has your money and where it is stalled. So, what is your actionable takeaway from all of this? How do you protect your peace of mind and protect your money? First, never, ever make an important, time-sensitive transfer on a Thursday evening or a Friday. If you have a bill due, or if a family member needs money urgently, do it on a Monday, a Tuesday, or a Wednesday morning. Give yourself a buffer of business days so the weekend never traps your cash. Second, always check the clock. If you are doing a domestic transfer, make sure it is done before 6 p.m. Sydney time. If you are sending money overseas, make it your rule to absolute finish the transaction before 10 a.m. so you beat every single international cutoff time. Third, confirm if the recipient's bank uses OSCO for real-time payments before you send a domestic transfer, so you know whether to expect an instant delivery or a standard processing delay. You have worked too hard for too many years to let banking cutoff times and processing delays cause you stress in your retirement. Be standard. Be smart. Know the rules of the game, control the clock, and you will never have to worry about where your money is again.